A girl was sleeping with a face mask on when the car window rolled down and the wind sent her mask flying onto a stranger's face. Embarrassed, she panicked while the man stood stunned and nearby school kids laughed. This girl, often seen as unattractive, was the center of our story, Joe Jing. Since childhood, Joe's face had drawn mockery. People said she looked like Li Kuai, and even at age 7, her relatives ridiculed her looks. Her grandfather once cruelly called her an illegitimate child. Only her mother stood by her side. One day, Joe saw a fairy-like girl on TV and wished she could be beautiful too. Her classmates caught her daydreaming and mocked her again, scars that stayed with her for years. A decade passed, but her appearance didn't change: dark circles, uneven features. She was often ordered around, once even by the class flower who asked her to fetch breakfast. When Joe returned from the canteen, she saw a handsome boy, Bing, and was instantly drawn to him. But the class flower noticed this and mocked her again. Joe later gathered courage and asked Bing to meet the next day. He agreed. Seeing this, the class flower played a trick, asking him out herself. He accepted. Still, Joe made a heartfelt lunchbox for him. But the next day on the bus, she accidentally fell into a boy's lap. He was startled. Things worsened when her classmates found her lunchbox, mocked it, and destroyed her food. When she confessed her feelings to Bing, he insulted her, calling her a frog who dared to love a swan. He even threw away her gift. Humiliated, Joe washed her face and stared into her reflection, afraid to return to school. Overwhelmed, she climbed the rooftop to end it all. But just then, a boy ran over and saved her. She couldn't see his face clearly, his glasses were off, but he scolded her, trying to snap her out of it. As they descended the stairs, she fell, and the boy carried her all 30 floors down. Joe thought an old man was carrying her. When they reached the bottom, the guard told them the elevator had only temporarily malfunctioned, leaving the boy speechless. This boy, Li Suao, saved her because she reminded him of a friend who'd once taken her own life. When Joe returned home, she found her mother crying, not over her suicide note, but because her father had lost everything to gambling. Devastated, Joe turned to her only support, her online friend. One night, she stumbled upon a makeup transformation video. Hope sparked within her. She asked her TikTok followers for suggestions and began experimenting. Soon, she spent her hidden savings on new makeup and clothes. She practiced all night, perfected her look, and wore a face mask before stepping out. Just then, Li Suao appeared, and in panic, Joe's mask flew into the air, hitting her again. Joe moved to a new house and started at a new school, this time with a better makeover. When she entered the school, everyone stared as if a celebrity had arrived. Even the teacher noticed her stunning transformation. At home, her brother warned her she couldn't hide her identity forever. Meanwhile, Li Suao began to suspect this new girl was the same one he had once saved. Joe used heavier makeup to stay unrecognizable. When she saw a bully from her old school, her heart raced. She quickly turned her face, but was spotted, and in fear, she ran away with tears in her eyes. In class, Joe was paired with Shuhao for a project. She avoided eye contact the entire time. That night, Shuhao called her and said he had her school uniform and a manga book. Joe worried that any slip-up would reveal her identity. On their next meeting, her makeup had slightly smudged, but she quickly fixed it and returned to class. Later, Joe was tripped by Jun and fell. When she angrily confronted him, Shuhao appeared but said nothing. At school, during a birthday event, someone tried to wipe her face. Joe rushed to the washroom, reapplying her makeup in tears. Outside, she bumped into Shuhao and Jun again, and her heart filled with anxiety. How long could she hide her true self? One evening, Shuhao invited her to meet at the manga shop. Joe decided to show up without makeup, her real self. When she arrived, Shuhao gently offered her tiramisu. He quietly asked if she was the same girl. Joe lied and ran away, but Shuhao already knew the truth. At home, Joe's sister cheered her up and encouraged her not to give up. Joe asked Shuhao not to reveal her secret. He teased her but agreed. At school, a helmet went missing and Joe promised to return it. But her brother had sold it. Furious, Joe chased him through the house until their mother stopped them. Shuhao gave her another task: get a book and meet him at the amusement park. She left, but it rained and some people harassed her. When she finally arrived, soaked and hurt, Shuhao put his jacket over her. Jun saw this and grew jealous. Later, Jun spilled Shuhao's lunch out of anger. Students began gossiping that both boys were fighting over Joe. Joe planned a fake date to throw them off. But the guy broke up with her, saying someone warned him off. Her sister mocked her heartbreak. Joe suspected Shuhao had interfered. At KTV, Joe noticed Shuhao staring at her legs. She quickly covered up. In the washroom, she spotted Jun's bike and considered damaging it, but he showed up. Just then, Shu Hao arrived too. Their rivalry was obvious. During lunch, both boys competed for Joe's attention. Shu Jun even ate her favorite dish. She gave a secret signal to her friends and they lashed out. Joe ran away crying. That night, Shu Hao invited her to a quiet basketball court. They talked, played, and grew closer. Later, Joe saw another girl being bullied and stood up for her, seeing her past self in the girl. She poured water on the bullies. Shu Jun's sister stepped in, revealing that she and Shu Jun were siblings. Joe's grades, however, were poor. When her mom saw her report card, she was furious and threw away Joe's makeup. Joe cried but found comfort when Shu Hao treated her to noodles. That night, a bug landed in her shoe and she screamed. Shu Hao helped her, gave her a hair clip, and Joe blushed. At coaching class, she saw Shu Jan resting on Shu Hao's shoulder. Joe misunderstood and grew distant. Later, Shu Jun asked Joe to help him buy a gift. While out, Shu Hao called, saw them together, and grew jealous. That night, Shu Hao took Joe on a walk near a river. They saw a floating boat and heard a ghost story about a cursed well. Later, Joe fell into the river while taking a selfie. Shu Hao saved her, but her makeup washed away. Zhang Xuan saw this and almost recognized her, but Shu Hao distracted her. Meanwhile, students reached the haunted well. Joe tried sneaking away but was caught by Shu Jun. She panicked and fled. Shu Hao was about to propose to Joe with a ring, but things didn't go as planned. During a treasure hunt, Joe feigned illness. Shu Jun cared for her, gave her medicine and a symbolic bracelet. Shu Hao saw this and became furious. He and Shu Jun fought over Joe again. Back home, Joe's dad befriended Shu Hao, not realizing he was her boyfriend. They bonded over noodles and football. Joe's dad later walked in on Joe and Shu Hao during a movie night. A power cut created chaos. Joe's sister caused it while drunkenly tripping over a wire. The next day, Joe tried to hide at a sauna but her makeup melted. Shu Jun saw her real face. She lashed out, afraid of exposure. One day, Joe was kidnapped by thugs who were actually friends of Shu Jun's sister. Shu Jun rushed to rescue her. At home, her mom threw away all her makeup. Joe was heartbroken, but Shu Hao took her out and comforted her. Eventually, Joe overheard Shu Jun telling a girl he liked someone else. Later, she met Shu Hao's dad, a famous celebrity. Her mother embarrassed her by asking for an autograph. One night, Joe's sister got drunk and chaos ensued again. Later, a fight broke out between Shu Hao and Shu Jun. Joe's mom proposed a hilarious solution: they must give each other a pedicure and say, "I love you." They did, unwillingly. As time passed, old memories resurfaced. Shu Hao remembered Joe from childhood and asked her for a photo, which led to an argument. Later, Shu Hao was injured. Joe visited the hospital where awkward moments and misunderstandings piled up. Eventually, Joe's school photos leaked. Bullies tried to wipe off her makeup, but Shu Hao defended her. She ran away, heartbroken. Her father fried her favorite dish outside her room, trying to cheer her up. Her mother saw the viral video and finally understood her daughter's pain. Joe transferred to a new school. Shu Hao came to see her, saying, "Whether you wear makeup or not, I love you." Joe smiled. She went to class barefaced and no one mocked her. She was finally accepted for who she was. At the end, Shu Hao and Shu Jun had one final showdown. It was a heartfelt, emotional duel. Afterward, Shu Jun confessed that if he had won, he would have asked Joe out just to get closure. In the final moments, Shu Jun stood on stage, singing a song written by Shu Hao about friendship, heartbreak, and hope. The audience clapped, but a quiet sadness lingered. It was the end of one story and the beginning of another.